Alright, welcome back to another episode of Dirty Dave's Garage. Today we're going to be installing a set of these Timbren like heavy duty bump stops on a 2005 Chevy Silverado truck. I got a snowplow coming for this and I have oversized tires. I'm putting these enlarged bump stops on to hopefully give me a little extra cushioning so that the weight of the snowplow doesn't rub the oversized off-road tires that I run on this in the wintertime. So we're going to go through the process, getting the old bump stop out, putting these new ones on, and hopefully we won't have too many problems, and you'll see what it's all about. I'll try to put a link to these Timbren bump stops underneath the video in the description, and in case you want to get a set. But hang tight and we'll get to it. Alright, just a few quick notes before we get started. I'm going to try to do this where the camera's not blocking the light. This is the stock bump stop here. And you can see the new Timbrens are going to be substantially larger. It gives me about probably an extra inch once it's in there of clearance to keep the truck from bottoming out. One thing you'll notice on the Timbrens, hopefully you can see here, there's like a shim in there between the mount that's angled. Now the angled side is going to go in towards the frame. So when we put this up, if you notice the shim has an angle, it's wider on this side than it is in the front. The shim is in the middle there, the shiny piece you see between the rubber and the black parts. It's going to go in just like this, with the thin part facing the frame and the wide part facing like your brake rotor. So just giving you an idea how it's going to be oriented once it's up in there. Basically, all you're supposed to have to do is pry the old one out, stick a screwdriver up in here or a pry bar, which is what we're going to try, and get the old one out. If it's a little tough, we might stick a little WD-40 on it. We'll probably have to unbolt this shock mount to let the control arm fall to give us more space to get these larger bump stops to fit in there. So that's the game plan. I'm gonna get some tools and we'll get started. There we go. You need a screwdriver. Just pop them out. That's just a hunk of rubber. That's all there is to it, and there's 4 little tabs that hold them in place. Well, that one's out. I'm going to go pop the other one out. Alright. We got those out. We'll put the new ones in. It's going to get a little trickier, but I'm just going to hold it up here to take a look at it. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to pull these shock bolts out and lower this down a bit. Give us a little extra room. So let me get those bolts out and that shock off, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so we got our shock bolt out. I used a jack stand. Hopefully you can see it here. Let me pan out a little bit. I used a big jack stand over here under the control arm to lift the pressure up to get the bolt out for the shock. Just telling you that, because as I loosen it, I'm dropping this down. You can probably see it coming down to make room to slip that new bump stock in. And you don't need a jack stand like I have. You know, I'm up on a lift. Makes things a little easier, especially for filming. But you can use, once you get your car up or your truck up and you have it sitting on some jack stands, if you got a floor jack, just put your floor jack under the control arm to raise and lower it as you need. If you have to stick a block of wood in there, a piece of 4x4 or something, to take up the space, that's fine too. Alright, so remember, when we stick these in, now we got room, that the thin piece goes facing the frame. So it goes in. Now these are going to be tight. In fact, I might put a little WD-40 on just to help them slip back in place. Just a little bit, I don't want them all slimy. I won't give them a quick shot, just to help things along. Get them in position. And if you can't pop them up in there, like sometimes it's easier, just get 2 of those notches in. You can take a screwdriver and shove them up in there. Let's see if we can pop it up in there with this large pry bar. Got. There we go. That worked pretty good. Just remember, keep the thin part of the shim towards the frame. I think we're good. So that popped it in pretty good. Just using a big pry bar. You probably do the same thing with a big screwdriver. Just put it up against where it's going to hit the actual piece of the control arm and push on it till it pops in. Now, I did put WD-40 in the cup and in the bump stop itself, but we're good. All I gotta do is put the bolt back in into the shock, and this side's done. The other side's gonna be the same thing. So now you know how to put your bump stop in, your Timbren bump stop. Get rid of the stock ones. If you want to keep your front end from sagging, give you a little extra weight carrying potential. If you put a plow in the front of your truck, that's the way to go. So hope this was helpful, and please don't forget to subscribe, and if you want a set of these for your car, I got a link in my description. Go ahead and click it and get yourself set. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time on Dirty Days Garage.